Chapter 2. Nutrition in Animals. Introduction. You must have read many times that we need food to live and grow. A balanced diet is necessary to have a healthy body and mind. But, how do we get useful things from food? What happens to food after we eat it? Plants make their own food by photosynthesis. Animals get all their food from either plants or other animals. All organisms need food to survive. Different animals eat different types of food according to their body structure, function and need. What an organism needs to eat, how it eats food and how that food is used up in the body is together called nutrition. It can be defined as the requirement, the mode of intake and utilization of nutrients by an organism. Since the food eaten by an organism is obtained from another living organism, plant or animal, it is a mixture of complex substances. It may not be useful for an organism in its complex form. Hence, after eating, food gets broken down into simple substances needed by the body of the organism. Nutrition in complex animals involves the following steps. 1. Ingestion. The process of intake of food is known as ingestion. The method of ingestion, that is taking of food, varies from one animal to another. For example, we eat food by chewing and swallowing. Hummingbirds suck the nectar and snakes swallow their prey. 2. Digestion. The process of breaking down of complex food into simpler substances is known as digestion. The process of digestion is different in different groups of animals such as in humans, grass-eating animals, amoeba, and so on. 3. Absorption. The process of passing of digested food into blood vessels in the intestine is known as absorption. 4. Assimilation. The process of conversion of absorbed food into complex substances such as proteins and vitamins required by the body is known as assimilation. In other words, assimilation is the absorption of nutrients from food by the cells and their utilization for various body functions. 5. Egestion. The process of removal of waste materials from the body is known as egestion. The remains of food left after digestion is also called feces, hence the process of egestion is also known as defecation. The fecal matter is removed through the anus. From time to time, different ways of taking food. Different organisms have different ways of eating food. A hummingbird sucks nectar of plants. Human beings use their hands to put food into their mouth and swallow the food after chewing. Infants of human and many other animals feed upon their mother's milk by sucking them. A frog captures a prey with its sticky tongue. Snakes swallow the animals they prey upon without chewing them. An earthworm uses its muscular pharynx to swallow its food. Spiders weave sticky web in which small insects get stuck. Some aquatic animals filter tiny particles floating nearby and feed upon them. Amoeba, a unicellular animal, engulfs tiny particles of food by using pseudopodia. Amoeba surrounds the food by pseudopodia and then makes a food vacuole to engulf the food. In multicellular organisms, such as Hydra, there are numerous tentacles around their mouth. Hydra uses tentacles to surround its prey and kill them with its stinging cells. Then the food is pushed inside the body cavity. Digestion. Once the food is taken in, the process of digestion starts. The food we take is primarily in the form of complex substances. Food in such complex form is not used as such by animals. Hence, It needs to be broken down into simple substances which are soluble in blood and other body fluids and can be absorbed by the cells of the body. The process of breaking down of complex food into simpler substances is known as digestion. There are different types of enzymes which help in the breakdown of complex molecules such as carbohydrates, protein, fats, etc. into simple molecules. Digestion in unicellular animals, such as amoeba, takes place within the cell. The digestive enzymes are secreted in the food vacuoles. Digestion in humans. The digestive system of humans is well developed. It consists of the gut or alimentary canal, along with many associated digestive glands. The alimentary canal is divided into mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine and rectum. The mouth and the buccal cavity. Food is ingested through the mouth. The mouth contains tongue, teeth and salivary glands. Teeth break the food into smaller particles. This process is called mastication. The chewed food is mixed with saliva. Saliva is a watery fluid secreted by the salivary glands. Saliva contains a type of enzyme called the salivary amylase, which converts starch into sugar. Our teeth cut, tear and grind the food before we swallow it. There are 4 types of teeth in our mouth. Incisors. These are flat and chisel-shaped teeth. They lie in the front of the mouth. There are 8 incisor teeth, 4 in the upper jaw and 4 in the lower jaw. The incisor teeth are used for biting and cutting of food items. Canines. These are round, shaped, sharp and pointed. Teeth. These are well adapted to hold and tear the food. There are 4 canine teeth found in a human. Premolars. There are 2 premolars on each side of each jaw. Premolars help in crushing and grinding the food. There are total 8 premolar teeth in an adult human. Molars. There are 2 molars on both sides in both the jaws. They have almost a flat surface with small projections. These teeth are meant for fine grinding of food. There are total 12 molar teeth including the wisdom teeth in an adult human. The 4 molar teeth are also called wisdom teeth. Wisdom teeth usually grow between the ages of 18 and 21. The tooth is covered with a white substance called enamel. It is the hardest substance in the human body. Milk teeth and permanent teeth. Humans get 2 sets of teeth in their lifetime. The first set erupts when we are babies. It is known as milk teeth. Milk teeth last until we are about 8 years old. Milk teeth are replaced by the second set of teeth, which are known as permanent teeth. An adult human has 32 teeth in all, 16 in each jaw. The tongue is a muscular organ. Tongue helps to mix saliva in the food. It also helps to push the food down the food pipe or esophagus. Taste receptors are present in the tongue and give us the sense of taste. The food pipe esophagus. Esophagus is a tube-like structure connecting the mouth and the stomach. It is about 3 centimeters long. It has powerful muscles which gently push the food down to the stomach. The esophagus contracts and relaxes in a rhythmic fashion to facilitate the forward movement of food. This movement happens in other parts of the alimentary canal as well and is known as peristalsis. No digestion takes place in esophagus. The stomach. Stomach is a muscular J-shaped thick-walled bag. It is the widest part of the alimentary canal. One end of the stomach is connected to the esophagus to receive food, and the other end is connected to the small intestine where food is passed from the stomach. It churns the food to mix digestive juices. The food in the stomach is churned into semi-solid. The churned semi-solid food is known as chyme. Gastric juices are secreted from the walls of the stomach and mixed with the food. Gastric juice contains some enzymes and hydrochloric acid. The enzymes present in the gastric juices break down protein from the food. The hydrochloric acid kills the harmful bacteria present in the food and helps the gastric enzymes to work. The small intestine. From the stomach, partially digested food transfers to the small intestine. The small intestine is the longest part of the digestive system. It is about 7.5 meters long in an adult human. It is a highly coiled tube and consists of three parts: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. Absorption in the small intestine. In the duodenum, the liver and pancreas pour their secretions. Liver secretes bile juice and pancreas secretes the pancreatic juice. The bile juice contains the bile which carries out emulsification of fat. In this process, the fat is broken into tiny droplets. The pancreatic juice contains several enzymes. The enzymes of the pancreatic juice break down starch into simple sugars and proteins into amino acids. Minerals and vitamins do not get broken down as cells are able to absorb them easily. From the duodenum, the food goes to the lower part of the intestine. There are numerous finger-like projections on the wall of the small intestine. These projections are called villi. They have fine blood capillaries to absorb the food. After absorption, food mixes in the bloodstream and is carried to all the cells of the body. The cells utilize this food to release energy. Finally, the digested food enters into the large intestine after it leaves the small intestine. The large intestine is wider and shorter than the small intestine. It is about 1.5 meter long. The large intestine. In large intestine, excess of water from the materials is absorbed. The semi-solid residue is stored in the last part of the large intestine called rectum and finally thrown out of the body through the anus from time to time. The throwing out of waste of digested food from rectum is known as egestion. It is also known as digestion in grass-eating animals. The plant-eating animals are also called ruminants. They cannot digest cellulose which is present in all plants. The digestion in these animals takes place as follows. Their stomach is divided into four chambers. The rumen, reticulum, omasum and abomasum. First of all, half-chewed food is swallowed and it then goes from the mouth to the rumen, the first chamber of the stomach. Here, the bacteria break down the cellulose. This half-digested food goes to the second muscular chamber, the reticulum. From the reticulum, the food is sent back to the mouth to be chewed again. This half-digested food is called cud. Chewing of the cud is known as rumination, and such animals are known as ruminating animals or ruminants. Cow, goat, buffaloes, sheep, bison, etc. are good example of ruminating animal. The rechewed food is swallowed for the second time. After passing the first two chambers, it enters the third chamber, the omasum. Here the food is further broken down into smaller pieces and finally enters the fourth chamber, the abomasum. Here, all enzymes act upon the food and the digestion is completed. The process of rechewing the gut to further break down plant matter and stimulate digestion is known as ruminating. The food then passes to the small intestine where it gets absorbed. After digestion and absorption, nutrients from the food are taken to the cells in all parts of the body. The cells oxidize the food to release energy. The undigested food then passes to the large intestine from where it is digested through the rectum and anus. Feeding and digestion in amoeba. Amoeba feeds on microscopic organisms floating on water. The nutrition involves processes like ingestion, digestion, assimilation, and digestion. Amoeba forms pseudopodia to take food. When the tips of pseudopodia touch each other, the membrane at that point dissolves and the food is encaptured along with lysosomes into the food vacuole. This process of obtaining food is called phagocytosis. Digestive enzymes present in the lysosome digest the food. The digested food diffuses into the cytoplasm and is utilized by the cell. This is known as assimilation. The undigested food left in the food vacuole is thrown out of the body. This is known as digestion. The false feet of amoeba are called pseudopodia. The word pseudopodia is a combination of pseudo means false and podus means feet. Singular of pseudopodia is pseudopodium. In a nutshell, requirement of nutrients, mode of intake of food, and its utilization in the body are collectively known as nutrition. Nutrition in complex animals involves ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and digestion. There are different mechanisms by which different organisms take in food. The process of breaking down of complex component of food into simpler substances is known as digestion. The digestive system of humans consists of the gut or alimentary canal, which is divided into mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine and rectum along with many associated digestive glands. The plant-eating animals digest their food in two steps and their stomachs are divided into four chambers: the rumen, reticulum, omasum and abomasum. Amoeba captures its food with the help of pseudopodia and the process of obtaining food is called phagocytosis.